Hey there, welcome back into Occupy Democrats on a No Mercy Monday, and in lots of ways, it's another form of a D-Day. Thank goodness it's not over on the beaches of Normandy. What it is Detonation Day. And the reason I say that is this breaking story, because as some of Trump's highest ranking current and former people scramble for the hills, the Epstein vote is inevitable. And one of the key figures in this, and a guy who on some occasions has actually pushed for the release of the Epstein files, suddenly is doing massive backtracking because Trump's former White House chief of staff did at one time say this.
Yes, it looks bad for the president, but it also may unite the movement that has been fractured over the Epstein saga. Even those critical of President Trump's handling of the Epstein files are rallying against their common enemy, the media.
Quite frankly, the Murdochs concocted something last night and thought it'd be a kill shot on President Trump. And lo and behold, it's the exact opposite, because President Trump is now on offense. President Trump is best when it's attack, attack, attack. This is the deep state. This is the ruling class in America. They're trying to use it to destroy President Trump.
Oh yeah, good old Mr. Bannon. But here's the weird part. Now that the 15 hours of interview tapes with Jeffrey Epstein, accidentally some of which got disclosed, showed him talking with Epstein in this weird way.
Future is for the way women think.
The way women think.
That's correct.
Is that not a sop because of all the depravity you've done against young women? And your new sop is that their women's thinking is the future?
No, I've always believed that women would in fact be able to take over. I'm a firm believer and supporter of Time's Up.
Because of that, it makes complete sense that Bannon would all of a sudden try to hide behind Trump on attack, attack, attack. This.
I just caught up with Steve Bannon, a former Trump aide and a leader of the MAGA movement, who told me he is celebrating the president's changing tone when it comes to the Epstein case, calling it a turning point. He texted me this, quote, "We are finally on offense. President Trump has had enough and is fighting back against his real enemies." Now, Bannon is just the latest in a growing number of MAGA influencers who are coalescing around the president ever since the Wall Street Journal dropped a story about an alleged letter appeared to bear Trump's signature and also the outline of a naked woman. Now, the president has furiously pushed back on those claims and called the letter fake.
But when it's all said and done, the reason why everyone is scrambling, the reason why this is D-Day in this breaking story, is because one of the things that got released in all of the Oversight Committee's emails is, whoopsie poop, the game plan that Steve Bannon had back when in the White House of how he was going to protect Jeffrey Epstein. Check this story out right here. Breaking news. Texts revealed Trump's right-hand man promised protection for Epstein. Quote, "Don't have to worry." Steve Bannon, mega influencer and former White House chief of staff to President Donald Trump, promised to shield Jeffrey Epstein from prosecution just months before his death in prison, newly unearthed text messages suggested Monday. The text messages, highlighted by author and academic Karen Piper Monday, were a part of a document dump of 20,000 pages of Epstein files from Epstein's estate that were released by the House Oversight Committee last week. In quotes, "If either one of us in different investigations will need to testify publicly, it would be preferred to do it with two nostrils instead of one," wrote Epstein in a text dated December 5th, 2018, to a person who, while their name was redacted, is believed to be Bannon based on contextual clues The Guardian and other media outlets have reported. In quotes, "You don't have to worry personally because I'm sending you somewhere beyond extradition," wrote back the responder believed to be Bannon less than 2 minutes later. When the aforementioned text messages were exchanged, it had been just over a year since Bannon was forced out of Trump's administration, largely over his frequent clashes with Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump, as well as suspicion that he had been the source of several damaging leaks. In a separate text message exchange dated June 28, 2019, just 43 days before Epstein died in prison, the disgraced financier texted the individual believed to be Bannon about their friendship and how he believed it struck fear in Trump. In quotes, "Now you can understand why Trump wakes up in the middle of the night sweating when he hears you and I are friends," Epstein wrote. Bannon and Epstein had maintained a long relationship over the years, with the recent document release revealing more details about their friendship, including the fact that Bannon had advised Epstein on how to rehabilitate his image in the wake of his 2007 criminal conviction for child prostitution. Bannon had also shot hours of interview material with Epstein that he teased in 2019 but ultimately never released. A photograph of Bannon was also discovered to have been prominently displayed in Epstein's New York home in August. Below, you can see the actual details and the timeline of the emails discussed. As Karen Piper noted, Bannon promised to send Epstein somewhere beyond extradition. You see, there's a lot of reasons why the Epstein files need to come out. There's a lot of things about the supposed fake news, deep state, government corruption, all those things that go all the way back to the inception in the olden days of power and elitism. But it's a different subject in the modern era. And this is one of the reasons why Trump's presidencies absolutely need to be gone through with a forensic level because of all the people involved and all of the cover-ups, not just Manafort and all the guys from the first turn and Flynn and everybody. It goes far beyond that. And Steve Bannon and Stephen Miller are at the core of both terms. You guys like and share the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay frosty.